Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 10 versus 10 on Krupki, and I'm going to be playing with the 15th Scots with the balanced deployment type. I want to share this replay with you guys today because it shows off a strategy that I would say do not try this at home. It's a very derpy strategy that was fun to try, but not something that I would say is efficient, or I think you guys should try and replicate yourselves. So I've got 4 Churchills 7s. You can see the game's already underway. I've let it run a couple minutes just because the Churchills are so slow to get to the front line. And I've got a couple of Churchill 5s. So this is the first reason that this is a strategy that you shouldn't necessarily rely on yourselves too much. Bringing in just Churchills at the start is kind of silly because you have no units that are going to be pushing up and holding the front line early on, whilst your 21 km/h road speed, that is, trundles towards the front line with you. The support of Churchills is always very slow. I think I've done videos on the 15th Scots before, but the main way that you want to use the 15th Scots is it's all about timing, all about combined arms. So say you bring in a bunch of Churchills, but you basically know that they're not going to get to the front line for like another 2 to 3 minutes. So what you want to do is time your other reinforcements, like your infantry, to come in and arrive at the same time as your Churchills reach the front line, so that you can then push with them together. And that's kind of like the whole thing that revolves around the Scots. Then you have like artillery to support that, or you have aircraft to support that, depending on your situation. Most of the time in larger team games it's more reliant on artillery than it is on aircraft, because in 4v4 and 10v10 anti-air can be quite abundant, so like Typhoons and stuff are going to be less useful. But regardless, in this case we're just going to be going for the Churchill push, and you can see I'm spreading them out, getting them ready to push from this light cover to this light cover, and off we go. I've got a couple Churchill 5s. The Churchill 5s, they are the HE variant that have a 2,000 meter range. They will be basically the infantry killers and support gun killers. I've got a Crusader AA to provide me with some anti-air, and of course the Churchill 7s, they are the classic anti-armor, whilst having an absolute ton of front armor themselves, 150 millimeters of front armor. Second Crusader AA on the way. I'm also going to be bringing up the Engineer Leader. The Engineer Leader here to provide extra veterancy, make these Churchills fire faster. Because naturally their gun doesn't fire that fast. It's only 6 round per minute rate of fire. I think Churchills a little while ago got buffed in that they are now cheaper than they once were. I think Churchill 7s used to be at 90 points maybe. So a little bit cheaper, a little bit better value for money. And honestly, against enemy medium tanks, they can trade really well. But against anything bigger than a medium tank, they just don't have the penetration to deal with them. It's always fun to watch the Churchills roll on forwards. Admittedly, they should have rifle support. But we are going to be finding some infantry here. All of the Churchill 7s going to be opening up, and the Churchill 5s engaging from a distance, going to be doing most of the damage. That poor Panzergrenadier taken out very quickly. So we're now providing some veterancy for us in the meantime, which will allow my Churchill 5s to reload quite a bit faster. They also only have 6 round per minute rate of fire. So with the extra veterancy, you're going to be hitting like 8 round per minute, maybe 9 round per minute. I've got the engineer here now as well. So we do have the commander from Sort, which is going to allow me to push all of these Churchills now to 2 vet, and the Churchill 5s to 3 vet, which is good. The Crusader AAs will also benefit from that veterancy when taking down enemy aircraft, so having both of the Crusader AAs in position as well is nice. Now so far, so good. We haven't really been hit by anything in the flank. This side of the map is always a big problem when pushing this area because of the high ground here, and the 2,000 meter range does kind of reach this sort of area. So if you go too far to the left, you leave yourself vulnerable to AT guns over here. Also, if the enemy has managed to get down into these sort of tree lines early on, or brought stuff down this side of the river, then you could also be ambushed from this light cover. So this is always like a really, really risky strategy. But in this case, we're getting away with it so far. I'm going to let my Stuart Recce go ahead. I've got my sniper following up, providing the recon fire. Ju-88 here. Going to get taken out by all of that juicy AA. SBW-222 not going to stand a chance in the face of a Churchill 7. So onwards we go. The slow Scots rolling forwards. Trying to get into position here. So yeah, the Stuart Recce leading the charge to provide the recon and find anything that's in here. And now what I'm going to be doing is trying to get the Churchill 7s close enough that they can actually penetrate the Stugs. Now, Stugs in this case are actually quite scary because they do have penetration chance at this sort of range. So the Churchills can be easily killed by a Stug. So I'm going to want to try and double team it at least, if not get more guns on target. But these other Churchills on the right hand side, they're being delayed. So here we go, second Churchill's going to be able to engage. So far so good on the bounces. We managed to find a penetration there. Shooting with the second Churchill now. And managed to find the kill. That was actually quite a lucky penetration. I think the penetration chance was only like 20-25%, something like that, at that range. So, nice kill for me. And we're going to be engaging the MG42 further to the right. Also going to be able to get shots onto the Flak 36 back there. And we're starting to cause a little bit of havoc on the flanks of our opponents. But, as I mentioned before, this light cover, great for ambushing these kinds of pushes. And he does manage to find a kill here with the Pak 40 onto the Crusader AA. The Pak 40 also kind of has decent penetration when it comes to the Pak 40. Or comes to the Churchill 7, sorry. So you can see the APCR shot there is able to get through the front and does cause a transmission damage to the Churchill 7, which is really, really bad for us because the Churchill 7 is slow enough as it is already, and with the transmission damage they go even slower. But the Churchill 5 now coming up with a 3 vet is going to help take out that Pak 40 quicker, which is good. I did lose a Churchill on the right hand side to all of these Panzer 4s, but for the moment we're just trying to deal with the Pak 40. We're also now being fired at from this ridge. You can see I did get slightly too far over to the left, and that caused me to come under fire. Now, the Churchill 7s here, because they're only 85 points, killing like a Pak 40 at 60 points. So that's actually not too bad. Killing a Stug, you know, pays itself off as well. So whilst like losing Churchills in this situation is obviously not ideal, as long as I'm trading 1 or 2 kills per Churchill, that's actually really good value for me. The Panzer IV there struggling to penetrate the Churchill allows the Churchill to find the kill. And now we're going to be engaging the next Panzer IV. Take out that one as well. And this is just value. This is just pure value at this point. I've pretty much played off all of the Churchills at this point, and any extra kills are just extra. Now these Panzer IVs, they were aiming at other tanks further to the right, which is why they weren't firing back at us. So we actually managed to ambush somebody with Churchills, which is not something that I would say too often. One of my Churchills finally going to be going down there. Gets hit by an AT gun, I think, or something that was hiding. I think it was maybe just Stug here that was hiding in the cover of the gardens. Like when in these buildings, you get green cover if your infantry's inside the building, but all around the building is always like yellow cover. So, and you can use it to hide your tanks and get shots off without being spotted, and also provides you a little bit of cover. Not that cover matters too much for vehicles, but for infantry and support weapons like AT guns, that yellow cover can be very useful. So now I've got all these Churchills just continuously firing at the Stug 4. The Stug 4 is going to struggle to penetrate at that range. We're going to struggle to penetrate, but if I can make it fall back and show it side armor or something while it's panicked, that would be very good. Anyway, more Churchills now on the way. You see the Churchill 4s now arriving. Churchill 4s are actually very useful and can trade up very well. Because they have an APCR round that has 175mm of penetration, at closer ranges with the 12 round per minute rate of fire, these can do a lot of damage to heavier tanks. You need 3 shots I think it's actually maybe 4 shots because they only do 3 damage to kill a heavy tank. So the rate of fire is super important in those situations. But since you can bring them in relatively high availability with veterancy, I can push these to 3 vet with a leader and problem solved. I've also got a 17 pounder coming in. Now this is the primary way in which the 15th Scots deal with heavier armor. The big old 17 pounder. These 2 henchmen wheeling it forwards, trying to get into position to engage things like the Panther and the Stug, will have a decent penetration chance when it comes to killing those. Now the Churchill 7 going to be going down. Panther D on the left hand side here, causing me problems. Getting shots towards the engineer there as well. Going to be able to take that out. Engineer leader goes down. That is unfortunate, but I did have a second one, so we're all good in that regard. Although that Churchill 7 now going to be going down as well. This Panther D again causing problems. I mentioned the 2,000 meter range from this hill, and this is just the perfect example. If you are playing on Krupki from this side of the map, having like an AT gun up on this hill is really good for covering this entire area. You can see the way that the front line is just represents that. Like, no one can really push out here without putting themselves at risk from this cover. And whilst you could arty this to deal with it, it's not something that I have at the moment because I invested all of my points into Churchills. So Stug 4's going to be having fun trying to hit my Churchill. Shot comes in there though from the 17 pounder up on the ridge and takes out the Stug 4, so that was a good kill. Teammates are doing well on the right hand side though. We've already broken onto this hill. Lycus here pushing up with the Cromwells, and McShab providing infantry support there, and Oliver as well. Oliver also pushing onto the off map that's landing here, and this poor station area is getting absolutely annihilated. Industrial complexes getting wiped out and still turning to rubble. That's going to be the big 132mm off map, doing plenty of work there from probably Oliver and his Moskaya Grupa Baktina. The Churchill still just bouncing shots off its front armor. It's funny that the one with the transmission damage is the one to have survived the longest, but sits next to a wreck of its comrades. 17 pounder trying to move up into position here to get the shot onto the Stug because this one's out of range. The other trouble with being on this hill is if I try and move forwards too much, then the AT gun gets elevation problems. So 17 pounder going to be taking the shot. Gets the hit. Lovely stuff. Looking for the second shot. Gets a transmission damage. Unfortunate crit there. As you saw the shell bounce off the front. Naughty monster's going to be able to fall back with that in time. Now this Stug moving up, so going to be trying to attack move towards that one. Churchill struggling to turn. Fortunately still find the bounce. And we get the crew kill with the 17 pounder. So going to be able to take out that Stug. Very nice. Killing a Stug with a 17 pounder is a good kill. 85 points for 80-point AT gun. Always good. Hardson now pinging my AT gun here. I had brought in a second AT gun to sit in this tree line and try and hit the Panther. So you can see that I'm now giving that the unload at position command. Thanks to Hardson pinging that. Making sure that I know that that's there ready to go. So this is a very stark contrast to the other Krupki game that I showed on the channel lately, the 90-minute one I was talking about. If you guys want to get involved in these games, by the way, I do stream on Twitch every Wednesday and Sunday for Still Division 2 from 8 till 12, currently BST, bit British Summertime, GMT +1. So if you want to pop along and get involved in the 10v10s, then feel free. Anyone can join. And you can see that we have plenty of regulars that join me in these games. So the 17-pounder does manage to find the shot onto Alex's Panther D, which was good. We're going to be forcing him back on that ridge, but there's no real reliable way for me to finish that off. I've just got to be careful from now on. I do have some more reinforcements on the way, I think. Maybe not quite yet. But anyway, any Churchills that I do bring up are going to be extremely slow. Now the nice thing in this situation is we do have Hudson providing our infantry ahead of us. So he's got the Unitare de Garda here, which are going to be advancing ahead and engaging enemy troops, and revealing enemy troops that my Churchills can then shoot at. In this case, these are both Churchill 4s, so they're only going to be really wanting to engage enemy armor. IG-33 there, going to be picking off the 17-pounder on the left-hand side. This is the problem with this sort of situation, is that the 17-pounders are always really, really vulnerable to this sort of HE fire. And a lot of Axis divisions do have like guerrillas, they have IG-33s. IG-33s are the worst thing I could come up against in this scenario. Churchill finds a shot onto the Stug 4. Really good kill. Again, value. 50-point tank takes out 85-point tank. That's what you like to see. I got Typhoons now coming in. First of the Air Force realised that there's not too much AA here because there's been so much pressure put onto this side of the map. There's not really much to stop the Typhoons coming in. We get the rocket strikes down. This Typhoon going to have to find itself a new target, as the target it was about to fire at did get killed, but again, still no AA, so all good. Churchill looking for more kills here. And now I'm going to be bringing up even more Churchills. So since, like, again, Hudson's pushing forwards with the Kalashimoto, the Unitare de Garda, we got Oliver moving forwards with his Moskaya units. Like, me providing the Churchills in this situation is actually really good. Unfortunately, this Churchill not surviving. But alas, we have more on their way, even though it will take an absolute year for them to arrive. But yeah, a situation like this is where the Churchills can be really, really useful. So I'm taking out the 2, 3, 4, 1. Ideally, I shouldn't have been firing APCR. I should have been firing AP. Technically, APCR does have better accuracy, like 60% accuracy, so it's a bit more reliable when it comes to hitting the enemy. But that would have been dead in one shot if I had hit it with a normal round. And Churchills have been providing good fire support against Pandergunführer Rashid Tsar, trying to kill the Panther D. Rashid Tsar are incredibly scary for Panthers because of their super high rate of fire. They got like 15 round per minute rate of fire. In this case, it looks like the Panthers already got the better of the Rashid Tsar a little bit in terms of suppression. Still firing away. Fortunately, my Churchill going to go down. Churchill 5 is kind of causing the distraction right now. Panzerbuchse trying to engage this Churchill 4. Struggling to see it. Going to be returning the favour with its own APCR shot. And yeah, and you can see the right side here has completely broken open. My strategy with the Churchills somewhat worked out. You know, we managed to get from here to here, which was the original plan, and then push basically diagonally towards these flags, and we ended up taking this flag with the help of Hudson. So the strategy worked in the end, and just having the abundance of armor there, supported by friendly infantry, really, really worked out. But this is the reason that I would say don't try this at home, because normally you would want to have your own combined arms force. In this case, you know, my teammates are helping out a lot with their own support weapons, their own infantry and so on. But you can do this yourself as the 17th, or sorry, as the 15th Scots, and that's what you should be trying to do. Bring in like 2 Churchills, for example, a little bit of infantry, an AT gun, a couple mortars, and then make your own sort of push based on that, rather than just investing entirely into Churchills at the start. and hoping for the best. In this case, managed to get the 17-pounder into the light cover. I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but you can see that it is using the cover of the garden to make it harder to see for the Panther G. Actually, in this case, it's not. Never mind. When it has the yellow shield, you can see that it's in light cover. It probably needs to move a little bit more to the left in order to benefit from that. But we still managed to get the kill regardless, so that's fine. Engineer leader now going to be moving over there to provide veterancy. When you're using 17-pounders, veterancy is really important. More so than with other AT guns, because 17-pounders are naturally unreliable with their 45% accuracy, and getting that accuracy above like 50% is pretty important. You can see there it briefly goes into stealth. I'm not sure why it's stealthed there. That's weird. Anyway, you can see like when you are in light cover, you get this little yellow shield. AT guns can benefit from that as well. And you can see here the Churchill benefiting from the garden cover as it moves through behind these wrecked buildings. My Churchill's still continuing to push more to the right hand side here. My Churchill's on their way to help solidify this, but got off map on their spawn, so nothing's going to be crossing this bridge anymore. Absolutely brutal. If you're wondering why you're seeing a T-34 here, it's probably because there is a captured T-34, probably from the 20th Panzer, I think. Yeah, captured T-34s. So now my sniper going to be moving to the left hand side. We want to be able to see what's on this ridge, because this ridge is the main reason that we're not able to push for like this flag, for example. So getting recon information over here will allow me to potentially use the Typhoons and so on, and we're going to be able to just like attack move from right to left to finish things off. Sniper going to find the enemy Aufklärer. That's good. You see the enemy did have recon here the entire time, which was allowing a lot of the units on this ridge to get kills. It's up to my sniper to land the shot. Okay. Job done. The beauty of snipers as two-man recon, as opposed to the Aufklärer in that case. Here come the Churchills driving into the destroyed industrial complex. The reason that this right-hand side opened up so quickly was because of the off-map from the Moskaya, I believe. Oliver's off-map here just demolished the defenses. I don't know if Saw's here as well. Yeah, Saw's here as well. He's also playing Moskaya Grupa Baktina, so there would have been 4, maybe 5, 132 mil artillery strikes. Anyway, Typhoon's coming in again for another air show, looking for the kills onto enemy AA even, just targeting them directly. You can see that I'm also going to be targeting the 88 there, but one rocket's going for the IG-33. We got some rockets going for the Flak 36. Take them both down to 1 health. Going to be hitting the Flak 41. Another Typhoon comes in, finishes off that AA, and I also had a bomber coming for this 88 just in case. So nice strikes there, take out both of the AA pieces. Going to open up the IG-33 here for another bombing strike from the Typhoon. HS-129 in the meantime going to be providing recon. I opted instead to bomb out the Pak-40 because I believed it would allow my Churchill to then kill the IG without having to worry about being killed itself. The Churchill 5 here does have that 2,000 meter range HE, which is very useful, but artillery going to be coming in, getting a beautiful double kill. And off-map charging forwards there. But we're now 17-7. You can see that the map has completely just been broken open on the right-hand side. On the left, things definitely much more of a grind against the King Tigers and the IS-2s. The classic armor engagement. On this right-hand side, just opened up completely as the Churchills wander on by the wrecks of many tanks. follow the Churchill as it drives through the demolished industrial complex. So you got a 231 there, a Panther, there's a Stug, Panzer IVs further back. There's even a Tiger, yeah. The whole shebang. Oh, an Arado coming in for the bombing strike at the end here. Big Sounders is 2. And yeah, pretty much just charging my Churchill 4s now towards the Stugs. In this situation, what I'm going to want to do is get my Churchills into the light cover and then attack move through the light cover so that I'm as close as possible when I engage these Stugs. That way I have more penetration, and the advantage in that situation thanks to rate of fire. So the Churchills with 12 round per minute rate of fire plus 2 veterancy are going to beat the Stugs with 7 round per minute rate of fire with no veterancy, like very, very handily, just due to, yeah, rate of fire difference, and then also the fact that the Churchills can penetrate them. But nice P3 is going to be coming in there for the rocket strikes to get some damage off. We now also have a lovely little bombing strike. One of Lycus's favourite things to do. Bring in the bomber wings. In this case, we're going to be seeing the Mitchells with their 12 113 kilogram bombs. It's always awesome to watch this kind of stuff. Always very cinematic. Bombs away. My infantry definitely having a bad time. Now P3 is coming in as well. Don't neglect AA, people, especially in 10v10. The flag on the bridge was captured. The Churchills trying to push forwards, unfortunately get hit by what I assume to be a Nebelwerfer 42 or maybe a Werframmen or something. 2 of them go down there, unfortunately. Now Focke-Wulf's coming in, ME410s looking for kills. The ME410s do manage to shoot down a JU-88 there. But Focke-Wulf gets taken down by our AA. There is a friendly Flakverling. My Crusader AA also still alive further forwards. The ME410 taken out. More P3s on the way. Looking for the Tiger and the Stug 4. Not going to be able to find any rockets on target this time around. Trying to get this Churchill like deep into the cover here. In this case, this is just Churchill 6, so it's not going to do too great. Any more Typhoons coming in. And this is going to be the last hurrah with like 10 seconds left on the clock. Not going to be able to kill the Tigers, but still looks cool. Those Typhoons have HE rockets rather than AT rockets, so in that case not able to do much damage. But there we have it, 30 minutes 13 seconds. A very unorthodox strategy with the 15th Scots. Usually you definitely want to be more combined arms forces. You want to have those units that can rush forwards at the start and get the capture of territory. Things like field engineers or just rifles even, get like AT guns up to the front and stuff. In this case, because it's a 10v10, it does allow me to mess around a little bit in this sort of situation. So in the end, 1,565 kills to 895 losses. Hardson doing a good job. Shock, again, doing a great job. Shock always did it very well. Alex here, really nice attempt at the defense on that hill. He definitely dealt a lot of damage to my tanks, but this is what we need to look at, the kills and losses. So in this case, a Churchill 7 killing 2 Panzer IVs and the SPW 222 pays itself off like 2 times over. Again, Churchill killing Stug and Pack 40 almost 2 times over. Churchill killing a SPW 222 Panzer IV, maybe just paying itself off. Same here, just pays itself off. But the 17 pounders killing 2 Stugs and a Panther D, again, good value. Churchill 4 taking out the Stug. Fantastic value because it's only a 50-point tank, and 17 pound taking out Panther Gs and so on. So yeah, a fun game, a very fun game, and I always like it when I get a chance to try out wacky strategies like this, but not something I would recommend you guys trying yourself necessarily unless you are experienced and have a bunch of people who are reliable on your team, I would say. When I'm playing like the big 10v10s on the stream, it's always fun to have people to play with who I know are decent, and sometimes we have some really good 10v10s because both sides are very well balanced. And that was a great example, again, the 90-minute game I keep talking about with the Krupki. Definitely go check that out. That was probably the best 10v10 I ever played so far, and this was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.